So we have that brief delay, and Rockets control the opening tip. McGrady being guarded by Bowen.
What an advantage San Antonio has to be able to put Bruce Bowen on the opposition's best scorer.
And did not play in the second half at all against Seattle. Sora met on the switch by Ginobili. Last year, Ray Allen, Vince Carter upset with some of the tactics as Yao Ming was able to stud. They refer to Bruce Bowen as being a dirty. They double up on Yao Ming, blocked by Nesterovic, handled by McGrady. Here's Yao doesn't always react well when he's being fronted.
Well, that's the scouting report around the league. Everybody's going to try to front him, double team him, try to use the speed that has bothered him so far in his first few years in the league.
Here's Duncan over Howard, and handled by McGrady.
Getting to be commonplace for this team to just lock people down. They have replaced Detroit, I think, this season as the best defensive club in the NBA. Detroit not playing with the same passion that they did a year ago, but the Spurs are there every single night, just closing teams off.
Nice play, Nesterovic for Duncan, and a foul. It's on Yao Ming. You hear the reaction from the crowd as Yao is called for his first.
It's so tough.
Here's Ginobili for three. Manu Ginobili, who was averaging 15 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Spurs now lead at 8-5.
Came as a result of Bobby Sura's attempt at a steal, as we see Tim Duncan's block. Spurs once again are in the top 4 or 5 in the NBA in block shots. Having 2 7-footers down there makes it awfully tough, as we see again.
Have been blocked. They are scoreless the last 2 minutes and 20 seconds. It may well be a long night for the Rockets.
Could be. You know, we talked to Jeff Van Gundy earlier. I said, Jeff, how are you going to match up with the Spurs? He said, not very well. And he said, you know, we may struggle to score 50 points against this team. And we all know Jeff. He's got that sort of gallows humor about him. He loves to talk about his doom. But look at this defense here. Spurs #1 in the NBA in field goal percentage. And they do an excellent job blocking shots at the rim. And they've got this guy, Bruce Bowen, who's all over Tracy McGrady.
Yao Ming with the jump hook, handled by Nesterovic. As Tracy McGrady has had a difficult time getting looks here in the early going, as he has been swallowed up by Bruce Bowen to this point. Duncan backs his way on Howard. And the other factor tonight, they missed Jim Jackson, who is a long-range threat. Nice move by McGrady to set it up. Yao fumbled it. Yao with the recovery and is fouled. Hit from behind by Nesterovic.
I think you're exactly right, Marv. You talk about the absence of Jim Jackson. You see McGrady there driving to
Juwan Howard. So the Spurs now lead at 10-8. Big men on the floor for San Antonio, Duncan and Rose. Here's Duncan getting the step. Rebounded by Howard.
See McGrady coming over to double Duncan when he faces up. That's a part of Houston's strategy tonight.
And here comes Duncan. Rockets get back. Duncan to the crossover. Brown. Duncan being played by Yao with help. Nice play. Ryan Bowen came over and deflected it out of bounds.
Well, they're
placing Ryan Bowen, Reece Gaines, one-time member of the Orlando Magic. It was only his 4th game with Houston. Here is Malik Rose. That is not his shot.
Probably a step outside of his range, and it's a shot that he's actually not taken a whole lot this year, as we see McGrady miss the 18-footer. Greg Popovich was telling us earlier he's really been pleased with Rose concentrating on defense and running the floor and not taking bad shots for that rim area, but a lot of it is Greg Popovich's emphasis on defense. Of course, the Rockets there as well, perennially. Jeff Van Gundy's teams defend well. I think both coaches have a very similar philosophy as McGrady finally gets one to go.
Yes, those numbers put up there by 2 teams that were coached by Jeff Van Gundy. See a nice move by McGrady to draw the foul. It's called on Brown.
Greg Popovich actually offered Jeff Van Gundy a job about 2 years ago after he had left the Knicks. I think Spurs cannot get anything to go, and they wanted to get a 2-for-1 opportunity there, but Ginobili couldn't get the shot off early enough. Now just a 2-second differential, so Rockets will hold.
Down to 10 seconds left in the quarter. McGrady being played by Barry. Here's McGrady for three. On the back tap, McGrady with another opportunity. Heaves it.
That's the end of the first quarter. Your Houston Rockets.
So the Rockets with an 18-12 lead after Malik Rose. Rockets 20 and the Spurs 12. And San Antonio really struggling. They are 5 for 22 from the field and playing sloppy in this first half. Tim Duncan makes his return, replacing Malik Rose.
Their bench has been so good. No penetration from Parker and Ginobili and company, and they've been keeping Duncan outside that area right where he is now.
Duncan able to get in closer. That's his first bucket. And that ends a 16-2 run by the Rockets.
It was a 16-2 run, Mark, but it took about 11 minutes, I think. So I don't know if you can call it a run. But I'll go with it.
A prolonged run.
Okay.
Nice pass. Taylor rejected. Mutombo. He is able to recover. And it's a 24.
They've got 7 offensive rebounds, but it's just because they keep getting their shots blocked and they land in their laps, and then San Antonio blocks another one.
Spurs are number 4 in that department, led by Duncan, who averages 3 a game. He's second to Andrei Kirilenko. Kirilenko 4 blocks per game, although he is sidelined on the injured list. Ginobili off a nice pass from Duncan.
Boy, does he do.
First year with San Antonio, signed as a free agent. Actually began his career with the Spurs. He is a well-traveled individual.
Easier to list the teams he hasn't played for, I think.
He is tied with Chucky Brown as Tim Duncan is able to bank it home for most teams played in the NBA. 12 teams in
Taylor misses the shot. Parker had a layup underneath the basket, but found a wide open Ginobili. That sort of passing has been contagious on this Spurs team this year. One of the best passing teams in the NBA.
And a foul on the Rockets as Duncan took a shot on his forehead. Ryan Bowen.
The floor? Oh, really? I didn't know that. But, you know, our viewers at home maybe
You're taking a shot at a statistical crew.
I am.
It's like the plus-minus of the National Hockey League, and I agree with you. It's the same. And I know as Yao Ming was able to knock it down, I know that Mike Fratello is very busy with his new best friends, like Al Gasol and Bouncy Well.
Those guys are to him when they lose a couple in a row.
Here's Duncan. Kept alive, another possession for the Spurs. 5 minutes gone by in the play. Again from downtown, and San Antonio has tied the game at 24.
And again, the pass coming from Tony Parker, showing his maturity, moving the ball and getting his teammates involved.
Nice move by Yao Ming, stepping around Tony Massenberg to draw the foul.
Greg Popovich couldn't be happier.
Deliberate possession, as per usual by the Rockets. Drop step by Yao Ming, but too many steps. Traveling violation.
Well, we asked Greg Popovich before the game, will anybody else play against Yao Ming? He said, yeah, we're going to throw Tony at him. And here Massenberg does a great job. Of course, you and I thought he was talking about Parker, but you can see why he put Massenberg on him. He forces the travel there. He's an excellent defender.
Did you think Greg was pulling your leg?
I thought he was. I think you thought so too.
I did.
Well, he usually does pull our legs. So even when he's serious, you know, he's the boy who cried wolf. We don't even believe him when he's telling the truth.
All right, here's Duncan. Handled by McGrady. Just under 6 minutes to play. First half. Marv Albert, Steve Kerr, Craig Sager. We are in Houston. Rockets up. Duncan feeling around for the defender. And then a strip. Good play. Back comes McGrady. Barrett for Yao Ming. Good look from Andre Barrett.
Popovich won.
Brady after the slow start has come on. Tracy has 10 points.
Grady getting going here. You mentioned Brown, Marv. This guy has been such a good addition for the Spurs. Really, they didn't expect a whole lot out of him, but he had that great playoff. Guys.
Kevin Brown, you recall, played well in the postseason last year in the series against the Lakers. Sure had to put the brakes on. Here's Barrett penetrating, fires one up. Rebounded by Taylor. Good hands by Taylor, but he's rejected by Duncan. Just under 4 remaining in the first half. Owen got a piece of that dribble. Yao Ming is fouled. Yao going to that drop step. Evan Brown came over to commit the foul. Patrick Ewing, an assistant coach with the Rockets, so adept with that drop step move. Yes, the opposition always very vocal about that drop step move by Patrick Ewing.
Knick fans always claim that Jordan traveled, so we're even. Great feed by Andre Barrett. Look at the penetration. A really nice job of coming in and playing with authority. This is a guy who wasn't expected to be in the NBA. He's come out and played with a lot of confidence.
And he has helped Yao Ming's game with the setups. Yao is 10 of Houston's last 12 points. Rockets up by 4. Coming up on 2.5 remaining in the first half. McGrady showing top.
Now he's able to work Bowen a little bit on the perimeter off those screen and rolls.
Parker getting it inside, but Ori rejected. Guarded by Barrett. Ori. Duncan off the double is fouled.
Smart play by Duncan. One of the things I've always respected about him is even when he's struggling from the foul line, he's not afraid to go in there and draw a foul. He knows that if he's struggling a bit from the field, maybe not scoring, he's 2 for 10 here tonight, he's going to get to the rim, get to the line, get fouled.
Foul on Taylor for more.